Mm-hmm.
We're at Dover,
Yeah,
outside of town.
okay, so we are ready. We're continuing on with our reading and discussion of King Lear. We're going to begin again today with Act 4, Scene 4. And this is Cordelia. We are in Dover, and we have Cordelia. So, that being said, onward, Cordelia.
Alack, 'tis he! Why, he was met even now as mad as the vexed sea, singing aloud, crowned with rank fumeter and furrow weeds, with hardocks, hemlock, nettles, cuckoo flowers, darnel, and all the idle weeds that grow in our sustaining corn. A sentry send forth, search every acre in the high-grown field, and bring him to our eye. Soldiers exit. What can man's wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense? He that helps him take all my outward worth.
There is means, madam. Our foster nurse of nature is repose, the which he lacks. That to provoke in him are many simples operative, whose power will close the eye of English.
All blessed secrets, all you unpublished virtues of the earth, spring with my tears, be aidant and remediate in the good man's distress. Seek, seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage dissolve the life that wants the means to lead it.
Enter a
News,
messenger.
madam. The British powers are marching hitherward.
'Tis known before, our preparation stands in expectation of them. O dear father, it is thy business that I go about. Therefore, great France, my mourning and importune tears hath pitied. No blown ambition doth our arms incite, but love, dear love, and our aged father's right. Soon may I hear and see him.
Okay, end of Scene 4. Comments, questions?
The question there, that third last line, no blown ambition doth our arms incite. Blown ambition in our language would be a failed.
Be
What does
alert.
she mean here?
I think overblown is what she means here.
All right.
And I think she's referring to her two sisters. That
I think
it's like
she's
we've come across the phrase overweening ambition. I think it means the same thing.
right. I think well, maybe about the sisters, but it's also about the concern that when you bring a French army to Britain, the locals may get a little nervous,
That's a good point.
Even Nancy.
even antsy. Yes, and I think that that's what she's trying to say, that we're not here to conquer anything more than, we're here to help my dear father.
Hmm. Yep.
So that's one thing. And one thing that I think she's a little overblown herself here. I want to go back to the part where she's talking about what can man's wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense. He that helps him take all my outward worth. This is hardly circumspect of Cordelia. It's way beyond things. He who can help him will be richly rewarded.
I think it connects back to your concerns right off the hop when we started to look at this.
Can you turn up your
Sorry.
mic?
So you know what? You know what? This is the second time in a week I've been told to turn up the volume, and it very seldom happens. Usually, the teacher voice, I got people going, Dave, just whisper. Sort
Distract all day.
There you
David
go.
talking.
Exactly. Okay. No, I was just going to say, Duncan, it ties in with your very legitimate concern right off the hop when we start to look at this play that her response to Lear was overblown in that first scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it caused all kinds of trouble. And here, once again, we see that she is susceptible to hyperbole, as opposed to saying, "Hey, you know what? You help them, I'll see that you're rewarded generously." It's a little over the top to say, "I'll give you everything I have," but you know, she's in an emotional state as she was then, and when we're emotional, at least my wife says that I tend to get a bit hyperbolic.
I see. Okay. Well,
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, but I think it was a good point because I think it ties up with your concern that you raised early on.
Yeah.
Dave, you used a phrase there at the start, talking about Duncan at the start. What was the phrase you used? Off the hog or off the hop or
Right off the hop,
Right off
at
the
the
hop
very
at
beginning.
the beginning.
Yeah, right at the very beginning.
off
So
the
he's
hog?
referring to the when the very first scene with King Lear when he's dividing up the kingdom. And
Yes,
he
yes, I appreciate that part. It's just that it's the phrase is completely new to me. I haven't heard it before. Off the hog.
Hop, off the hop.
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 Off the hop. Ah, right. Beg your pardon. Yeah, I get you now.
Okay.
Yeah, we put it down to the microphone again.
Yeah, it's me. I'm simply gonna have to speak louder.
Well, it's when you lean back.
It's true.
So you either need to bring the microphone to you when you lean back, or you need to sit up.
Yeah, you've got a big cushion behind you.
Yeah, no, it's true. When I lean back, I'm in contemplative mode as opposed to verbal mode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there is, okay, so, yeah, she's a little overblown in her personality when she gets going. So anything else about this particular scene? I mean, it seems pretty clear. We know that the old man has gone completely bonkers and that she knows that he's completely bonkers. And there's concern about how do we stabilize him. And there's the doctor who's promising that he knows how to do it.
Right.
Okay, Orla, you got anything, questions or points to make on this scene before we move on?
No, but I think it's interesting that she's stressing, and you've said this already, that France pitied her tears, but they weren't they weren't invading for their own reasons. And I think that's
Yeah,
what no blown ambition doth our arms in sight.
right. And France, when she says France, she actually means her husband, the
Right.
King of France. Yeah. Well, this had to be a concern. Anytime you have a foreign nation invading a territory, no matter how benign their motives, there will be a lot of concern.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, and why not say it? And there's a lot of concern today. Why are so many generals being summoned to one spot?
Correct.
A highly unprecedented event. Like my parents I had a mentally retarded brother, and my parents refused to travel together
Right.
out of concern that if they were both wiped out, who would take care of my brother? So they always traveled separately, and this is certainly militarily not something that any sensible person would do. You don't summons that many powerful people together in one spot when you got enemies. So anyway,
We had something similar here in government terms. Our prime minister and deputy prime minister would not travel together if they were flying abroad. They would travel separately.
yeah, Yeah, it's actually only sensible.
Yeah.
So,
Since you
alrighty.
raised the notion of prime minister, done a wonderful opportunity for me to test my pronunciation. Taoiseach.
No,
No,
Taoiseach.
T.
No, you were close. Yeah. Bob Hawke used to have it written in his speeches as TEA hyphen SCHUCK. Taoiseach.
Taoiseach. Okay, Taoiseach. Thank
And
you.
he was Australian. I know it's an insult to compare you to Australians, but
No. No. Happy to be compared to Australians.
very good. And can you manage Taoiseach, who's Deputy Prime Minister?
Probably beyond my capabilities.
Taoiseach is an easy one.
Taoiseach.
Okay, are we ready to proceed on to the dramatic scene?
I I think Dave was referring to the fact that Micheál Martin was in Canada yesterday. Was that it?
Oh, that's right, of course, yes.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And he was meeting Carney, Mark Carney,
Our prime
Mhm.
minister. I didn't know that actually.
gave up his Irish passport
Ah,
so he could be Prime Minister of Canada.
didn't know that either.
Huh.
Orla, you're a tonic here, bringing me up to date on Canadian current events. That's great. Okay, so if we do this next scene, how about it's just Regan and Oswald. So
It's
how
Regan
about
and Oswald. I think there's one. Yeah, it's just Regan and Oswald.
okay? So the two people who didn't read last time. Duncan, do you want to be Regan? And
Well, you didn't read last time.
I did. I was the doctor actually.
Oh, last time meaning today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be
I-
whatever you tell me to be.
It's very interesting on that point. I guess it is interesting how that remedy for overwrought kind of nerves has not changed because I think that the first line of defense is to try to get people to rest, isn't it? If they're overwrought.
Yes, you try to remove stimulation,
Right. Yeah.
and you would be giving them some herbs
Right.
that are known to mildly suppress
Right.
the. I think it's a sympathetic nervous system.
I
Okay.
think that probably the first or the priority would be to get them to take deep breaths slowly.
Good point. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe the actual formula these days is take a deep breath in and then exhale slowly.
Right.
Okay, so on we go. So, what am I, Dave?
You could be Regan,
I
and
could be
Donna will be
Regan.
Oswald, and yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, all right. So this is Act 4, Scene 5, a room in Gloucester's castle. Enter Regan and Oswald. But are my brother's powers set forth? Oswald.
Who is Oswald?
That's you.
Sorry. I, madam.
Himself in person there.
Madam, with much ado, your sister is the better soldier.
Lord Edmund spake not with your lord at home?
No, madam.
And what might import my sister's letter to him?
I know not, lady.
Faith. He is posted thence on serious matter. It was great ignorance, Gloucester's eyes being out, to let him live. When he arrives, he moves all hearts. Where he arrives, he moves all hearts against us. Edmund, I think, is gone, in pity of his misery, to dispatch his knighted life, moreover, to descry the strength of the enemy.
I must needs after him, madam, with my letter.
Our troops set forth tomorrow. Stay with us. The ways are dangerous.
I may not, madam. My lady charge my duty in this business.
Why should she write to Edmund? Might not you transport her purposes by word? Be like something, I know not what. I love thee much. Let me unseal the letter.
Madam, I had rather.
I know your lady does not love her husband. I'm sure of that. And at her being here, she gave strange Ulysses and most speaking looks to noble Edmund. I know you are of her bosom.
I, madam?
I speak in understanding. You are, I know it. Therefore, I do advise you take this note. My lord is dead. Edmund and I have talked, and more convenient is he for my hand than for your lady's. You may gather more. If you do find him, pray you give him this. And when your mistress hears this much from you, I pray desire her call her wisdom to her. So, fare thee well. If you do chance to hear that blind traitor, preferment falls on him that cuts him off.
Would I could meet him, madam. I should show what party I do follow.
Fare thee well. End of scene. All right, Dave and Orla. I will be
There we are.
interested to
I
see
have
if
it now. Sorry. I was just saying that in those days, the idea of marriage for love was not really much of a go at all. Any form of marriage, particularly at that level of society, was political. So to carry on here, it's a show.
well,
I
this may
don't
be
think Reagan is any more interested in Edmonds than she is in anybody else.
well, she does see him as helpful to her because she's lost her husband. And she needs a husband because that's how most women got. If a woman was to get any sort of power, it would be through her husband. And her
She
Reagan's husband was killed.
Yes, but she would remain the lady of the manor and certainly in charge of all that's there. It's not like she was unmarried or hadn't been. She has status as the lady of the manor, apart from being the king's daughter.
This is actually from a much earlier time than Mary Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth. So it would be interesting. Like this is more back in Macbeth's time, I think. So it would be interesting to know if there were any examples of women who actually ruled.
Well,
In
apart
Shakespeare's
from
plays or in actuality?
In actuality, or even in a dramatic work.
Hmm.
Go
I
to
think
see it at UK.
Yeah.
Elizabeth would have been pretty much of a model, but certainly very much an exception.
Well, and Elizabeth was much later. This I believe they kind of put in the 11th century. Or did they
Yeah,
do?
yes, but Shakespeare's audience would have been very aware that a woman could have power.
Right. Yes. Duncan, I see what Des is saying. Like you're right. It's set. I thought it was in a pagan past, but maybe it was the 11th century. I truly don't know, but it was set well
I
back.
think it's a pagan. Well, what I meant by 11th century, it was a long time ago.
Was. Um, but the point is, Shakespeare is writing himself as a product of his times for an audience with the sensibilities of the time, where they're used to seeing a woman hold a position of power. Whether, in fact, if you went back into history and found out that was true then or not, I don't know. But the audience would have been more accepting of that, I think, at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Given that, no, so I actually can add a third powerful woman. So there was Mary Queen of Scots, there
Yeah.
was Elizabeth the First, and then
Yeah.
there was Mary Tudor as well, who preceded Elizabeth on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
There were three fairly formidable women at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Donna, could you give me a date on um, what was her name? Queen Maeve.
Or Queen Maeve.
Yes.
Ooh, not off the top of my head. I was actually thinking of Granuaile,
Granuaile is another one, yes. Yeah, yeah.
which is back in time.
It's a pirate.
The Pirate
Yeah.
Queen.
Fair Queen, yeah.
Well, and supposedly she had tea with Queen Elizabeth at some
Yeah.
point. So she must have been later than when Lear's set. Anyway, I'm just saying in my mind, and I hear the arguments against it, but in my mind, Reagan is aspiring to be the queen, but she needs a king.
Mhm.
She has no intention of ruling alone. And that's why Edmund is on the menu, particularly since he has shown himself to be a formidable strategist.
Do we have a year for this play?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
get.
I said, I
I'll look
drew
at.
11th century somewhere out of the air. I don't know.
Sorry, are you talking about when it was first presented in Elizabethan England, or where it's
No, the
actually?
setting. The
The
setting.
set.
Okay, I don't. You know what? Give me a minute. Let me see what I can find.
That's what I was expecting, Dave.
Um, Here we go. Yeah, if you just keep going, and I'll find it out.
Racing ahead here.
Okay.
Last week we had
Pre-Roman Britain.
Pre-roll.
Pre-Roman.
Okay. Well,
oh,
And that's
okay.
going back.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was set in pre-Roman Britain. So that would be pre-Christian Britain too, then.
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah. So that would have been before 1100.
That was BC.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get you the dates on Roman Britain too. I think, yeah, I think it's shortly after the Common Era began. Let me just take a look here.
Okay.
Okay. The occupation lasted from AD 43 to AD 410.
That's the Roman occupation.
Yeah, that's right. So anything before that, I guess, would be fair game for this. And I haven't to whisper what the status of women would have been then.
I was only off by 1,000 years. Come
Okay.
on.
I think you were metaphorically speaking of a long
I was
time,
metaphorically just
Yes.
trying to say a
a long time
long
ago.
time
A long
ago.
time ago, for sure.
Yeah.
Around
Okay, I just want to come back on this thing, Oswald and his what's the word? His affiliations, whether they're to Regan or to Goneril. And
He's clearly on Goneril's side
he really is.
so
But he
far.
says here, Regan says, if you do not chance to hear of that blind traitor, preferment falls on him that cuts him off. Okay. But Oswald replies, would I could meet him, madam, I should show what party I do follow.
It's
Now,
ambivalent, isn't it?
I think that
it
just
is
means the party of the sisters.
Or is it when he's saying party, is it more general? I mean, thanks for raising the point, Des, because it's a bit ambiguous. It could be that. It could definitely be that, Duncan. But I'm wondering also, the party is the defenders of Great Britain as opposed to the invaders of France from France.
Mm, that's possible.
I don't know.
I
Not sure.
won't
yeah,
completely
that
shake
would
that
come
idea.
down to which of the three sisters.
It would. That's
Yeah.
true. That's right. Yes.
And I would think that he really means Goneril.
I think he does too, because
Yeah.
the context of this is he has just refused to open the letter for
Right.
Reagan.
Right.
Reagan really wants to know what's in that letter. And Oswald is saying, nope, not happening. And so Reagan is kind of doing the old political thing of where he's saying, Oswald, play with me, and when I'm the ruler, you're going to be in a better situation. But Oswald is, bless his little pointed head, is showing some loyalty.
Or maybe, sorry, let me get forward here. Or maybe he's going, you know what? 50% of one, 50% of the other. I don't have enough incentive to jump ship here. I'll stick with Goneril at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they're both leading armies, and yeah, maybe the deal's not sweet enough to jump ship.
I think that's where we're at so far.
Yeah,
I think we'll probably find out later in the play.
correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so speaking of later in
Oswald,
the play, we have more to
sorry,
do in this.
Oswald is, sorry, Duncan. I'm just saying, in the dramatis personae, Oswald is described as a steward to Goneril.
Yes. Yeah, he's their
That
main
doesn't
man.
that doesn't place him very high in the pecking order as a steward. He he might be in charge of putting the horses out to hay or whatever.
Well, so far on the play, we have seen Goneril, every time Goneril needs something done, she asks Oswald to do it.
That's because he's a steward, horse steward.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like, is a steward like a personal attendant? Is that what
Yeah,
that is? Okay.
that, that's my understanding.
Okay.
So he gets his orders from Goneril and carries them out.
Right.
Yeah, he's kind of like Goneril's Kent, is my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
All right. So shall we move on to scene 6?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have.
Sorry, just before you go there, I'm just looking up steward here, and it's equivalent of a major domo. An official supervise arrangements or to keep order at a large public event, to manage or look after another's property. More or less chief bottle washer, other than being at the high table.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but he wouldn't
in
be.
charge of downstairs.
Yeah, he wouldn't be an earl or a duke or anything of that
No, no,
nature.
no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, no, no. He's not that. But you remember that Goneril sent Oswald with the letter to Reagan. It's just Oswald keeps on popping up.
Yes.
Hmm.
And here we have another letter that
Yeah, it
that
was Oswald who was giving a back talk to Lear.
yes, that was where we met Oswald. He had just been blistering Lear in the jester's ears way back when.
Yeah,
You'd want to
And
be pretty
Lear,
sure of his position to do that.
yes.
I'd say he felt safe with Goneril.
Yes, very much so.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Anyhow,
the field's neared over.
All right. If we're moving to the next act, it's a long one.
Hmm.
Uh, Des, do you want to do Gloucester, and I'll do Edgar, and um, could you do Lear? Um, could you do Lear, Dunna, and
Sure.
I just want to make sure I've got everybody. And could you do Oswald? Oh no, there's a gentleman. Could you do the gentleman, Duncan? And could you do Oswald? Play Oswald Orla, please.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
do we want to just go first to where Lear enters? It's just
yeah.
Edgar and Gloucester for a long, long time, and then it says, "Enter Lear,
Okay.
fantastically dressed with flowers."
All right.
So, just for the sake of uh,
Sure.
us remembering what we're reading,
Okay.
that maybe go to that stopping point and talk a little bit about what's happened,
Okay.
and then move on.
All right. Sounds good.
Just, before we start, the background of this is that Gloucester and Edgar are heading to Dover. Is that correct? To meet
He's
Cordelia?
trying, Gloucester has supposedly talked Edgar into taking him to the cliffs of Dover so he
All
doesn't
right.
tell, uh,
So,
he
yeah,
doesn't
oh,
tell
good.
Edgar that he wants to jump off the cliff.
Okay. Right. Gloucester, then. When shall I come to the top of that same hill?
Edgar.
Okay, I'm confused. Are we starting from the beginning or starting from where Lear enters?
We'll
No, we're
start at the
starting from
beginning.
the beginning. We have not read this at all.
Okay, fine. All right, okay. So you do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Horrible steep. Hark, do you hear the sea?
No, truly.
Why then your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So may it be indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakest in better phrase and matter than thou didst.
Ye are much deceived. In nothing am I changed but in my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Come on, sir, here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire. Dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice. Yon tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock, a buoy almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebbled chafes cannot be heard so high. I'll look no more lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Near hand, you are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap upright.
Let go my hand. Here, friend, is another purse. In it, a jewel well worth a man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper it with thee. Go thou further off. Bid me farewell, and let me hear thee going.
Now fare you well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why do I trifle thus with his despair? Is done to cure it.
O mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sight spake patiently my great affection off. If I
Affliction.
could bear it longer and not fall, to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my snuff and loathed part of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh bless him. Now, fellow, fare thee well.
He
Gone,
falls forward.
gone, sir, farewell. And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought, by this had thought been passed, alive or dead? Oh, you, sir, friend. Hear you, sir, speak. Thus might he pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir?
Nay, and let me die.
Hadst thou been aught but gossamer feathers air, so many fathom down precipitating, thou shivered like an egg, but thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleedest not, speakest, art sound, 10 masted each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle, speak yet again.
But have I fallen, or no?
From the dread summit of this chalky bourne, look up a height. The shrill gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up.
Alack, I have no eyes. In wretchedness deprives that benefit to end itself by death. 'Twas yet some comfort when misery doth beguile the tyrant's rage, and frustrate his power, his proud will.
Give me your arm. Up. So, how is it? Feel ye your legs? You stand?
Too well, too well.
This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you?
O poor unfortunate beggar.
As I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the enrigid sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods, who make them honors of men's impossibilities, have preserved thee.
I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it do cry out itself, enough, enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took it for a man. Often 'twould say, the fiend, he led me to that place.
Bear free and patient thoughts. But who comes here? The safer sense will ne'er accommodate his master thus.
Want to leave it there?
I'm tempted to go on at this point.
Okay, we can go
that
on.
what we've
Okay.
read so far is pretty self-explanatory for the most part.
Yep.
All right, so I will go on. I'm Lear.
I
No,
thought
that
I was
doesn't
here.
touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
O thou side-piercing sight!
Nature's above art in that respect. There's your press money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, look, a mouse. Peace, peace. This piece of toasted cheese'll do it. There's my gauntlet. I prove it on a giant. Bring up the brown bills. Well flown bird. Hear the clout, hear the clout. Oh, give the word.
Sweet marjoram!
Pass.
I know that voice.
Ah, Goneril with the white beard. They flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard or the black ones were there to say aye and no to everything I said. Aye and no, too, was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once, and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found them, there I smelt them out. Go to, they are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I'm not agu proof.
The trick of that voice I do well remember. Is it not the king?
I every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject quakes. I pardon that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die. Die for adultery? No. The wren goes to it, and the small gilded fly does lecher in my sight. Let copulation thrive, for Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters, got between the lawful sheets. To luxury pell-mell, for I lack soldiers, beyond yon simpering dame, whose face between her forks presages snow, that minces virtue and does shake the head to hear of pleasure's name. The fit you, nor the soiled horse goes to it, with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist they are centaurs, though women all above, but to the girdle do the gods inherit. Beneath is all the fiends. There's hell, there's darkness, there's the sulphurous pit, burning, scalding, stench, consumption. Fie, 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 pah, pah. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, to sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss thy hand.
Let me wipe it first, it smells of mortality.
O ruined piece of nature, this great world shall so wear out naught. Dost thou know me?
I remember thy eyes were enough. Dost thou squinny at me? No, do thy worst. Blind Cupid, I'll not love. Read thou this challenge, mark but the penning of it.
Were all thy letters suns, I could not see.
I would not take this from report. It is, and my heart breaks at it.
Read.
What? With the case of eyes?
Oh, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor no money in your purse? Your eyes are a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how the world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What? Are mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yon justice rails upon you, simple thief. Hark in thine ear. Change places and handy dandy, which is the justice, which is the thief? Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar,
Aye, sir.
and the creature runs from this cur. There thou mightst behold the great image of authority, a dog's obeyed in office. Thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thou hotly lustest to use her in that kind, for which thou whippest her. The usurer hangs the cozener. Though tattered clothes small vices do appear, robes and furred gowns hide all. Plate sin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Armed in rags, a pygmy straw doth pierce it. None does offend. None, I say, none. I'll able them. Take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accursor's lips. Get the glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to see the things thou dost not. Now, 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 pull off thy boots, pull off my boots, harder, harder.
Oh, matter and impertinency mixed, reason and madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou knowest the first time that we smelled the air, we wail and cry, I will preach to thee. Mark.
Alack, alack the day.
When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. 'Tis a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horses with felt. I'll put it in proof. And when I have stolen upon these sons-in-laws that kill, 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 kill.
Dunna,
I think
could you be the gentleman, Dunna?
Sure. Oh, here he is. Lay hand upon him. Sir, your most dear daughter.
no rescue? What? A prisoner? I'm even the natural fool of fortune. You use me well. You shall have a ransom. Let me have surgeons. I am cut to the brains.
You shall have anything.
No seconds? All myself? Why, this would make a man of salt, to use his eyes for garden water pots, aye, and laying autumn's dust.
Good sir.
I will die bravely as a bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, come, I am king. My masters, know you that?
You are a royal one, and we obey you.
Then there's life in that. And nay, and you get it. You shall get it by running. Sa, 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 sa.
A sight most pitiful in the meanest wretch, past speaking of in a king. Thou hast one daughter who redeems nature from the general curse, which twain have brought her to.
Hail,
Edgar.
gentle sir.
Sir, speed you. What's your will?
Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward?
Most sure and vulgar. Everyone hears that, which can distinguish sound.
By your favor, how near's the other army?
Near and on speedy foot, the main descry stands on the hourly thought.
I thank you, sir. That's all.
Though that the Queen on special causes here, her army is moved on.
I thank you, sir.
You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worser spirit tempt me again to die before you, please.
Well, pray you, Father.
Now, good sir, what are you?
A most poor man, made tame to fortune's blows, who by the art of known and feeling sorrows am pregnant to good pity. Give me your hand. I'll lead you to some biding.
Hearty thanks. A bounty and a benison of heaven to boot and boot.
Are we going to continue on with this?
Yeah, Orla's on. Yep.
Okay, Oswald.
A proclaimed prize, most happy, that eyeless head of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes, thou old unhappy traitor. Briefly thyself remember, the sword is out that must destroy thee.
Now let thy friendly hand put strength enough to it.
Edgar interposes.
Wherefore, bold peasant, dart thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest that the infection of his fortune take like hold on thee, let go his arm.
Chill. Not let go, sir, without further occasion.
Let go, slave, or thou diest.
Good gentlemen, go your gait, and let poor Volk pass. And should had been swaggered out of my life, 'twould not have been so long as 'tis by a fortnight. Nay, come not near the old man, keep out che vor ye, or I's try whether your custard or my ballow be the harder. Chill be plain with you.
Out, dunghill.
Chill, pick your teeth, sir. Come, no matter for your foins.
They fight, falling. Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body, and give the letters which thou find'st about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the English party. O untimely death, death!
I know thee well, a serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress as badness would desire.
What? Is he dead?
Sit you down, father. Rest you. Let's see these packets. The letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I'm only sorry he had no other deathsman. Let us see. Leave, gentle wax, and manners blame us not. To know our enemies' minds, we rip their hearts. Their paper is more lawful. Let our reciprocal vow, reading the letter, let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If your will not want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done if you return the conqueror. Then I am the prisoner, and his bed my jail. From the loathed warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, so I would say, affectionate servant, and you and for you her own for venture, Goneril. Oh, indistinguishable space of woman's will, a plot upon her virtuous husband's life, and the exchange, my brother. Here in the sands thee I'll rake up, the post unsanctified of murderous lechers, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper strike the sight of the death-practised duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell.
The king is mad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better I were distract. So should my thoughts be severed from my griefs, and woes by wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves.
Give me your hand. Far off methinks I hear the beaten drum. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend.
Bo, 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 bo.
Is that the first time that Edgar calls him father?
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah, he keeps on trying to cover it up. But let's see,
There's
when did
not.
he call him father? I think that let's see the letter. Okay. So he calls him father just after Edgar has killed Oswald. I think is the first time that Edgar calls Gloucester father. Is that right?
actually, I can go you one earlier.
Okay, please.
Yeah, so it's in mine, it's about line 72. Edgar's speaking when he kind of connects with Gloucester, supposedly after Gloucester's jumped off this cliff, right? He says, as I stood here below, methought his eyes were two full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the enraged sea. It was some fiend, therefore, thou happy father. Now that's more impersonal, you happy father, as opposed to directly kind of calling him father, maybe, but it's there, and he's kind of
Yeah.
working up to it.
Okay. So yes. And I'm okay at this stage. I'm wondering whether father is not something that
Yeah,
was not only used for one's actual father,
right.
but would also be used for all older men that one wanted to show respect to.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's that double sense in the scene throughout. That's my read on it anyway.
Mhm.
It is peculiar, I mean, and this is Coleridge talks about the willing suspension of disbelief. I think it was Coleridge when you go into a play, and so we have to believe that Gloucester does not recognize the voice of his own son, but he does recognize the voice of Lear.
I would wonder, though, if Edgar is not changing his voice,
Okay.
because there's this weird little thing where when he is talking with Oswald,
Right.
Edgar talks like he's a immigrant or something.
Does.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Bad
I mean,
word to
what the
use.
hell's going on here? Well, it was just Z's and V's and V's.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting. I can imagine a staging of the play where even in this whole scene with Gloucester and Edgar, where Edgar for most of it is speaking in some sort of fake voice.
Okay. All right.
And we have the part in here where Gloucester's going, what's going on with your talking? You suddenly seem to be talking like someone of higher status.
All right. Right. He's having a hard time staying in role. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. He does call him on that. Like
Hey,
Gloucester,
yeah.
Gloucester's lost his mind, but sorry, his eyes, but his mind is actually still fairly good, although he's highly wrought, right? He wants to commit suicide. You know,
You see, I just see another bit here. But what I have is about line 250. Gloucester, is he dead? Edgar, sit you down, father, rest you.
Hmm.
That again, I would take it, what you were saying, Don. You know, when I was in India, I wasn't aware of it, but there was a chap there, and he was Indian, and he was speaking to me once, and he referred to me as uncle, and I had
What?
never heard the reference as somebody being of another generation older could be referred to as an uncle. But I think that that's what Edgar, as you were saying, Duncan, would refer. Sit you down, father. Have a, take it easy.
Well,
I'm
and
not
I
sure.
know that in Japan that actually the Japanese will frequently refer to people as like old uncle, you know,
Old uncle. Yeah.
even people who are not related to them, it'd just be people who are older. And they will use auntie even for people who are not related to them. So it's just a possibility.
Well, even here, here on a bus, somebody will refer to an elder woman as mother. Mother, take
Uh-huh.
this seat.
Hmm. Hmm.
so
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. Dave, please.
So I guess the question. I mean, thank you for raising that because that sort of deepens what's happening here. I guess it's maybe used in a double sense, or Shakespeare's playing with this in front of the audience. He's calling him
Playing,
father,
yes.
and there is
Yeah.
that sort of generic term for an older person, but we know that it's truly his father. Edgar knows that it's truly his father. When I read the lines, I emphasized the father part. I slowed down. I saw the word commas before and after the word, but you don't have to read it that way. You don't have to read it emotionally. You could just read it.
Yeah.
Duncan, did you ever tread the boards? You have a
Excuse me?
great tread the boat. Were you ever on stage?
Oh, I was in when I was a youngster, I was in community theater because my mother was interested in theater. And then in high school, I did a little bit of acting, and I was on stage crew.
Right. You told me
Yeah,
you
I
acted in
think
Howard Town.
I think it stayed with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I like to ham it up.
Orla, I would ask you the same question. I mean, you did a very kind of stately reading for Cordelia. Have you some experience on the stage?
Me?
No, or Orla.
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 No,
Orla, yes, yes, Orla.
no, I don't.
Okay.
It's a
Not at
natural
all.
ability.
I watch too much TV.
Well, Orla has a very authoritative voice.
She does. She
She's
does.
Yes,
quick
yes,
with
yes.
gravitas.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you go to Finnegan's Wake and Sweeney online. I think only you, Duncan. But there's a person there, William, and he can project across a room. I don't know.
The guy with the eyeglass.
Yes, I just don't know how the whole room can hear him, and the rest of us almost need a microphone.
Interesting.
So
That
there
that
was a
would
clue in the
yeah.
crossword, and it's stentorian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you describe his voice as.
That would be like Micheál MacLeamore of old. He had that kind of voice. It's just very special timbre to it.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's being able to project.
yeah. It's a learned thing. And actually, to tell you the truth, I have a tendency to overdo it a little bit. Basically as a way of encouraging others to ham it up a little bit. You know, these works, generally speaking, they're dramatic works. So let me see where we have here. We have parts of this we need to clear up. Well, we haven't even gotten to the Lear part. I do like this part where Edgar is working very hard to convince Gloucester that he's really standing on the cliffs and he's about to cast himself off. And Gloucester is a little suspicious, to say the least.
Yes. You know, Gloucester wasn't born yesterday. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, right from the very beginning, we had this thing. It's the you do climb up it now. Look how we labor. And Gloucester says, "Methinks the ground is even.
But it
Horrible
does.
steep, horrible steep. Hark! Do you hear the sea? No. Why then your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish." Which, of course, is, the usual conceit is that when one sense is highly diminished, like you go blind, that the hearing and everything else is amplified. Then Gloucester says, "So it may be indeed, methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakest in better phrase and matter than thou didst."
But he eventually talks him into it. I mean, this is the power of rhetoric, isn't it? I mean, there's some super poetry there. Come on, sir. Here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and choughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross, so big as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers samphire. Um, Dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yon tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock, which is a small boat usually towed behind the ship. Her cock, a buoy almost too tall for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebble chafes cannot be heard so high. That's why you're not here in the sea, buddy. It's because we're so high, right? I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong. I mean, that's a great bit of language to talk the old boy into thinking that he's way up there.
Yeah. Well, Shakespeare's showing off.
He is.
He's saying in some sense he's saying this is how you do it, folks. It's only words. This is what do they call it? This is almost what they call breaking the fourth wall, where Shakespeare is commenting on how a playwright convinces his audience of something that is obviously not happening or true, just by using words appropriately.
Why does Lear refer here to Gloucester? Goneril with a white beard. I don't get that reference at all.
Let me get under Lear, Messrs above. I know that voice. So Gloucester says, I know that voice. Ha! Goneril with a white beard.
Has he got Goneril on the brain?
No.
She's still the daughter who cast him out first.
Yeah.
Well, let me see what my book says about that. Okay, Lear. Okay. So um,
At some earlier point, you know, when he has to say the password, I can't remember where they tell the password. Because Sweet Marjoram is presumably the password so you'd know what side they're on,
oh, really?
whose team it was.
Really? Oh, give
Yeah.
the word. Okay.
Mhm.
Give the word, sweet marjoram. Pass.
Now, is he mad and they're just making up something? Or is that sort of the password for the King Lear's team?
I don't know. Okay. So in my note, it says sweet Maria Rome is a remedy against cold disease. Eggard's password relates to Lear's madness is not merely fanciful. That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it, Orla.
I think your suggestion, Orla, is the right one. I think it's for Lear's team. That's the password. Otherwise, sweet marjoram doesn't mean anything.
Huh. Well, let's see here. Hmm. I'm surprised there's no note on that. It talks about that. It's 4.46. All right, 4.46. Try to get 4.4.6. 4 point. Okay, here's 4 point. Oh, no.
And does Lear, when Lear says, um, Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got between the lawful sheets, does Lear know at that point what Gloucester's son has done?
And which son is he referring to?
Edmund.
Edmund. It has to be Edmund because he's the
Has to be
bastard.
Edmund, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, Lear is complaining that his daughters were legitimate daughters who have treated him poorly. And his image is that Gloucester's bastard son has treated him better, which of course we know is not true.
Or is he being hyperbolic? Like, I love your point, Orla, because if he actually knows what's happened to Gloucester, he's going, I've been treated even worse than that by my legitimate offspring. Like that, again, here's, I think, a line that works in a couple of different ways. Whether, does he know? Well, that means something. Doesn't he know means perhaps something else.
As far as I know, and somebody please correct me, as far as I know, Lear does not know of Edmund's deviousness.
Yeah, and I don't know how he would know, really, when you think about it.
Edmund has no relation with Lear. They don't. I don't remember them conversing with one another at any time, or even about
No,
each other.
right. I don't remember their paths crossing.
No.
But he'd have known of them.
Oh yes, he would. Yes, yeah. Just on that sweet marjoram thing there, I have here sweet marjoram. Edgar invents a password that relates to Lear's headgear and to the plant's alleged medicinal properties in treating brain disorders. It was also used to treat shortness of breath, from which Lear suffered elsewhere in the play.
When Lear appears to Gloucester and Edgar, is he wearing a crown of herbs?
My instructions in square brackets, meaning that someone's put them in. It says enter Lear, and then in square brackets, fantastically dressed with wild flowers.
Yeah, I have crowned with wildflowers and nettles.
Right.
Okay, so that's all Edgar is doing is looking at when Lear asks for the word or the password, Edgar is looking at his herbal garland and sees a marjoram and says sweet marjoram.
Yes, I think he's just humoring him.
Because I was a bit panicked when we were reading, because I was going, Lear is going to do something horrible to Gloucester as well. Because it was, you know, the way you think, this is going so badly.
Well, my notes say that in several stage editions of this, that they have enter Lear fantastically dressed with wild flowers.
Right.
Cordelia reports in Act 4, Scene 4, 1 through 6, that Lear has been seen crowned with flowering weeds. On stage, most actors have worn a crown of weeds or flowers and have often carried a scepter made of straw or a bunch of flowers, pointing up the contrast between the unselfconscious king of nature in this scene and the angry tyrant of the court in the opening scene. Okay, well, I feel like we have a satisfactory explanation of why sweet marjoram.
It again recalled to mind Ophelia in Hamlet. When she was dying, she drowned herself. She had a garland of, what was it, lilies?
Water lilies?
Yes, I think it was water lilies, something like that.
Huh, okay.
Okay.
She had lost her mind too.
Yes. Well, that seems to, is this a theme in Shakespeare that when people go mad, that they revert to the natural world to soothe themselves?
Can answer Dez's question when there's a minute.
Would you say, Dave?
Sorry, please finish. I don't want us to say goodbye till I answer Dez's question about Ophelia's flower choice. I've got it, but please carry on.
I'm finished. All I was saying was that I just wondered if this was a theme or a motif in Shakespeare that when people went mad, that they would revert to nature. They would leave.
In As You Like It, there was one of the characters, was it Bottom or somebody, had also a garland of flowers.
Okay, that's Midsummer Night's Dream, right? Bottom.
Midsummer's Night's Dream, sorry. Well, in As You Like It too.
It is fair enough.
I think there was something there too, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long time now since I'd got, oh, wow, we won't go there.
Hmm.
So here's the report on Ophelia's death, Des. The queen comes in and says, your sister's drowned, Laertes drowned, oh where? There is a willow grows ascant the brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. Therewith fantastic garlands did she make of crow flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs her crowned weeds clamoring to hang. Right. Yeah, branch broke and then she fell. But those are the flowers then. Crow
Yeah.
flowers, nettles, daisies, and these long purples.
Never was to hand. In the same way with Lear.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So we have reached that time where we have to make a decision about what we have accomplished and what we still need to talk about at the beginning next time. Oh, somehow I go here. What has happened here? So Dave, you're gone.
I am, so that's why I'm not saying anything. By the
Okay,
time I get
and,
back, you'll be halfway through the Tempest.
Are we
I
doing
doubt
the
that.
Tempest next? Are we doing the Tempest next?
Good question. Are we doing the Tempest next?
I think Donna had suggested it.
Finish this one first.
Question. We haven't made any decision.
Oh, it's true. I was I was actually teasing Donna a bit there. Anything, whatever you decide, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So you're
Mhm.
off to South America.
No, actually, the Balkans.
The
Oh,
Balkans. Oh my
Right.
God.
Can I suggest, with regard to next week, that we give this a little bit more research and bring back any insights that we may have gleaned over the course of next week? We don't have to delay on it, but if we have anything to add, we should have an opportunity to do so.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Yeah, actually,
Enjoy the Balkans, Dave.
Sorry?
Enjoy the Balkans.
Oh, thanks. I've never been there, so I'm really looking
Watch
forward.
watch out for low-flying drones.
well, that was Denmark.
That's right.
That's the same
well,
Denmark and
Moldova is a little nervous at the moment also.
In Dublin, yes, we've had a problem in Dublin with that too.
Right. Not necessarily originating in Russia, I would assume.
No.
No.
I find it very interesting that Ukraine is the world leader by far in drone technology.
Yes. To the point where I think they sent advisors to some NATO exercises recently to advise them because they know a lot.
One of the bargaining points that Trump was looking for information on
Right.
from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And
Well,
on a lighter note, Dua Lipa is from Kosovo. No, is she from Kosovo? And I think her of Albanian descent. So I hope you have opportunities that can her music can be your up-to-date contemporary Balkan journey international pop music.
thank you.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'll say goodbye and look forward to seeing everybody in a month. Take care.
Okay, thank you
Bye-bye.
very much. And we shall gather again by the River Shakespeare to continue. Um,
Your evangelical past is rearing its head. Right.
Thank you all very much.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.